Hi everyone, it's Cameron, the Dungeon Master for the Arbitrary Hero Waterdeep campaign, running Max's Mad Mythic Mercenaries through the streets of the City of Splendor with another recap. This will be the second part of a multi-section Waterdeep Dragon Heist Chapter 4 recap, as I'm running the Alexandrian remix, and that makes Chapter 4 pretty long, so I'm planning on doing multiple recaps to keep the length of each one more manageable. So far in Chapter 4, our brave, mostly heroes, again mostly, Roland the Human Fighter, Alla the Aasimar Soul Knife Rogue, Sprocket the Gnome Armor Artificer, Holly the Half-Elf Divination Wizard, and Fen the Wood Elf Horizon Walker Ranger have finally obtained the Eye of the Stone of Galore, as well as a mysterious statue representing Deepwater Harbors linked to the vault holding Never Ember's enigma. A while ago, the party had heard rumors that the infamous Blue Alley of Waterdeep was once again reactivated. After a long rest from their heist, they confirmed these rumors to be true with a conversation with Mert the moneylender. He asked the team to venture into Blue Alley and retrieve a statue of a unicorn for him. The party, suspecting that there's also an Eye of Galore in Blue Alley, decided to take on the job. Rolling up to Blue Alley, full of confidence and vigor, fresh off their success at heisting Xanathar's lair, Fen, Sprocket, Holly, Alu, and Roland were caught flat-footed by the diabolical traps and conniving magical effects. Starting out with entering their names into the guest book in order to bypass the force field of Blue Alley, and choosing mostly to ignore the ominous mural of mutilation that teased the shenanigans in store, the party followed the silver path to a pair of double doors that revealed a lightning trap that the party avoided and a tricky, spiked pit trap that the party nearly aided on. The door past the traps was locked, so the party had to backtrack, but luckily Alu spotted a secret entrance that led to some sort of secret lounge. While investigating the room, the party found a strange statue of a wizard who was able to talk and demanded an entertaining riddle. The gang failed to immediately question the wizard's answer, but labored onward and eventually found a room filled with gold coins and assorted treasure. Refusing to be tempted by such pedestrian trinkets, they continued through the room, ignoring the gold, and saw a grating that seemed to lead out of Blue Alley. This was in fact true. Roland, Fen, and Sprocket were teleported out of Blue Alley and into the yawning portal, giving Holly and Alu some girl time to explore while the boys had a drink and then caught back up. Continuing onward and upward, Alu and Holly navigated a specter-filled room by solving the tile floor puzzle and found themselves in a room with the Celestite unicorn they were looking for. By this time, our thick dummies had caught up to the ladies, and Roland quickly figured out the puzzle to sneak Primara out of the room with his eyes closed, negating the teleportation curse, keeping the statue in the room. And with this, Blue Alley had essentially been dealt with. Yay! But wait! There's more. Actually, there really wasn't, but the party was very convinced that somewhere in Blue Alley was an Eye of the Stone of Galore. This wasn't the case, but who am I to spoil the fun? On and on the party went, fighting off Magmin in the trash incinerator, Alu nearly dying to the merciless mob of Mephits, then backtracking all the way to the beginning of Blue Alley and starting their way down the other side. Down the gold path, the party was munched on by mimics, mauled by minotaur, and stabbed by swords. Tricky traps and wicked wines hounded our heroes wholeheartedly throughout the hallway. They did manage to find some magical treasures, as well as a bunch of keys to rooms they had mostly brute forced their way through already. But not one of them, that's right, the very first locked door they passed by in Blue Alley, they were able to return to and unlock, revealing a perilous pile of pewter pills that rewarded their thoroughness with plenty of bludgeoning damage. Picking themselves off the ground, the group gathered and entered another room lined with all sorts of trinkets, treasure, and trash. Fen, taking a confident step forward, was rewarded with the bite of an invisible bear trap. While Roland took the time to trigger all the traps on the floor, Alu found another secret door filled with animated skeletons. A brief battle later, and the party investigated the eerie secret room, finding a small altar made entirely of dark, splintered human skulls with gems in the skull eye sockets. Taking an opportunity to take some treasure, Alu unwittingly unleashed a shadow, which proceeded to drain her of her strength before being destroyed. Deciding the gems were better off left alone, the party continued onward into a hallway filled with sawing, scything scythes. Alu and Fen bravely navigated the traps, getting sliced and diced in the process to get to the last unexplored room of Blue Alley, within which there was a key to a small golden door to reveal a lantern of revealing. Yay! Beaten, battered, the bruised and bleeding bunch left Blue Alley. As they did so, they spoke with Primara the Celestite unicorn, who revealed she was once a real unicorn that had been turned into a statue by the evil wizard Keeler, who was in fact the one who created Blue Alley in the first place. Knowing she was once a living, breathing unicorn, the crew was conflicted on whether or not to hand her off to Mert. This was complicated by the untimely arrival of a group of fae folk called the Court of the Meadowed. These 5 adventurers from the forest came to Waterdeep to attempt to rescue Primara themselves. A tense standoff was diffused with delicate diplomacy, and the Court of the Meadowed encouraged to return to Trollskull Manor with Max's mad Mythic Mercenaries. Ready for a well-deserved rest, the last thing before going to bed Holly did was hold the unicorn statue. Once again she was beset by a vision, one of the massive vault doors to Neverember's treasure, 4 small nooks carved into them. Now the statue of Waterdeep Elementals was joined by the Celestite unicorn, leaving 2 mysterious objects yet to be found. Once again, the party members were cloaked in shadow, and one silhouette was holding a knife. What does this mean? Will there be a betrayal amongst Max's mad Mythic Mercenaries? Tune in to find out. We're having new adventures every other Sunday. Thanks everyone for hanging out and listening in. Catch you all in the next adventure.